disgusting. Who likes? First of all, pineapple is just gross, and then having it on a cake is even more gross.
Wait a minute. You don't like pineapples because it's overrated, or you just don't like the taste?
I don't like how it tastes.
But do you like oranges?
Yes.
So it's not citrus.
No, I like citrus stuff. I just don't like pineapples.
Or is pineapples a little more tart?
I don't know. I just don't like pineapples.
You are a very weird person.
Wait, you don't like, what is it, cornbread and...
No, I didn't say I didn't like cornbread. I like cornbread. I just said it's not like a number one thing I would go for. I would have other things before cornbread. Like a nice dinner roll, like good dinner rolls from scratch. From scratch.
No, cornbread is over that. Cornbread is over dinner roll any day.
But have you had a dinner roll made from scratch? Yes, from scratch. Good.
I'd rather have cornbread over dinner roll.
How y'all doing? We're back on this her craziness and
It's not crazy.
Her not liking
you just
stuff.
You just have a weird sense of taste.
Me? I do.
Uh-huh.
I have a weird sense of taste.
Mm-hmm.
You were out your mind. Pineapple upside down cake is delicious.
I'll take that without the pineapple.
Strawberry shortcake. Hey, Sid. Hey, Dana. We're not going to start arguing though about. We spent like almost 10 or 15 minutes last week talking about her.
It was a good discussion, though.
It was. Yeah, because we learned what fruitcake was.
Yeah.
I didn't know
and that there were
cherries.
Green cherries. Yeah.
Who knew? I never knew. It was green cherries. Just
so the more you know.
Right. Welcome everybody to Maximize Monday. This is our last Maximize Monday of the year. We are off next week. We're gonna probably play like a replay or something like that. Y'all come on in and join us. I cannot believe Christmas is this Saturday. I feel like I'm so far behind.
Yeah.
I guess I need to go get some stuff for people.
You got 5 days. 4 days if you don't include Christmas.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But honestly.
Well, you can use the excuse that it didn't come in yet because of the shipping crisis. So.
I could. Yes, I could. But I kind of don't like to lie. I'll just be honest and say that. But honestly, as much as I dislike the pandemic, it has put some things in perspective. I used to hate, I would say hate. I learned to tolerate Christmas shopping, like going to the mall and being around all them people and stuff. I am not upset that I'm not going. It's like last year and this year. I'm like,
yeah,
shopping online. I don't feel like being in the crowds and the madness. Mm-hmm. I like the deals. That's the only thing I like.
Yeah.
I
for
love
Black
the deals.
Friday. See, I just don't like shopping in general. So I've always done the online thing.
I do. I like shopping.
Mm-mm.
But I'll go like the day or two after Christmas when stuff's on sale.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what it is? I don't miss the hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
Of riding all these different places to buy this gift here because this one got it here and that one got it there and all this stuff. It just this season has given us a chance, well, for some of us, to kind of like reset, pause, chill, and now it's like, well, the pandemic just gave me more of a reason not to go to the mall with all the people there. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I am good. You get a card with some money or something online.
People be having you haven't seen Jack Frost yet, so never mind. It's not going to make sense.
Wait a minute, the old one?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. I haven't seen it in a long time. I haven't seen it like since I was a kid, I think, though.
So we can have Christmas presents like that where it's just empty boxes and you imagine what the gift is.
You want me to give that to you, an empty box?
No, I didn't say you and me. I'm just saying people.
So if I'm getting you something for Christmas, you want me to give you an open box?
No.
Yeah, okay. I will say though, you do give good gifts.
No, thank you.
I will
I
say that
try.
you pay attention and you give people what they like. I give you that.
Oh,
Yes, I give you that. I was like, cool. You pay simple stuff like that. Just
yeah,
yeah, not that difficult.
cool.
But yeah, I just well, let's
Your
let's
whole
talk.
office is gonna be full of Star Wars stuff then.
I know, I know. I'm really that place where my printer is when you go in my office, that real big
Mhm.
side of the wall. I'm trying to think about
Mhm.
what to put there
Yeah.
because it can't be a small. I don't want it to be like a couple small pictures. I want it to be kind of something substantial.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to figure out what I want. That's not going. But see, I'm cheap too. Them
Yeah.
big pictures cost like hundreds of dollars. I'm like, why am I paying all that money for some darn picture?
Oh boy. As a photographer, that hurts my heart.
Yeah, but I mean, but everybody has priorities.
Yeah.
And me spending a lot of my first pictures in my office was because people got tired of coming in there looking at bare walls. So they said here, they bought me some pictures and said, hang these up.
That's funny.
I was just like, I mean, I like art, but
Everyone has their thing.
yeah. Um, yeah, frugal when it comes to some things. Some things I'm not as frugal, but other things, other things I'm very cheap with. But there are some things I may spend some money on. Yeah, and I think everybody has that though. That was one or
Oh
two
yeah.
things you're not cheap with at all.
I hear you on that one.
Right. So this is year end. Let's do this. What did y'all learn? What did 2021 teach you? What did 2021 teach you? That's kind of since this is our last one of the year. What did 2020? I'll start to give you chance to think, and people get a chance to comment.
Okay.
A few things I learned this year. First thing was to be more appreciative. Not that I wasn't, but to be more appreciative. What are you doing?
I'm typing this. I'm listening. I'm typing this. I was typing that.
Because all I heard was. But I heard. Not that I wasn't, but to be more appreciative. You can type it in. Go ahead. To be more appreciative.
It's playing now.
Of those in my life. So some folk you love, they get on your nerves, right?
Yeah.
But then you think about all the people who wish the people they love could still get on their nerves because they passed away this year. It kind of puts it in perspective.
Yeah.
It says, you know what? You much rather them get on your nerves every now and then a living than them not being here on earth and you wishing they were around. So more appreciative. That was one of my biggest takeaways of the year. Paying attention to my own mental health and sanity. That was a big one.
Yeah.
And change is challenging. I always knew that, but some things kind of smack you in the face a little more. But I'm glad I'm back in school. I'm learning a lot. It's really
I remember when you said you're only gonna do the one semester.
Yeah, and then I got hope.
I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
It's challenging my theology, and I take my pastor hat, put my theology hat on. Those people in Bible school, you understand that you wrestle with topics, a variety of topics, even if you don't necessarily agree with them. You study them. But I'm glad I went back to school. But I'm just looking forward to 2022, praying that God's goodness will continue. Well, it will be continue to show us His goodness through 2022, and hopefully this COVID will let up some. I don't think my thought is this: once COVID is over, if we go back to the normal before COVID, something's wrong. Something's wrong. We missed something. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I feel like, especially in these last couple of months, people have started to back trend on some things. And I think that's partly why we're at where we're at right now. But yeah, it's definitely a learning. These past 2 years have been a learning process for me. Like you said, I've learned to appreciate my family more, my friends more, and to not take things for granted. So like trying to make phone calls and all that stuff to make sure that I'm staying connected with people. and to appreciate the things that get on my nerves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, it is something, even though I might not always appreciate it, that I love about that person. And, to just enjoy that, because you never know when it can be taken from you.
Yeah.
So definitely that.
So
But
appreciate when I try to push you out into new creativity.
no
It's not
one
all
said I
extremely,
didn't appreciate
not
that.
all extremely detailed and all,
No, that's different.
organized
That's
and stuff.
different.
Oh, that's different, huh?
It's different. It's just, okay. We don't have to get into that conversation.
Go ahead, finish that.
Anyway, but also, I feel like it sounds really like basic, but it really is just what it is. Just learning to trust God.
Yeah.
There were times in 2020, even 2021, that I thought there were things that I wanted that I thought would never happen, or I didn't think God would move in this way. But He has,
Yeah.
So even just thinking like in terms of like my photography, I was planning out what I would like for 2022 to be.
Mhm.
I'm organized and planning,
Sure, of course. Nothing
whatever.
wrong. No, that is good. That is good.
Yeah.
Do that.
So I was doing that for photography, and I was looking at all I accomplished in 2021. I was like, wow, everything that I had set out, I completed. And at the time, I didn't think, it was going to happen, but it did. So that was just one example of how I might not think things are going to go a certain way.
Hmm.
But if I continue to trust God, like He'll make a way for things to happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking forward to in 2022 also.
Broken hip and all, and got it done.
Broken hip and all. And that was even a bigger, I didn't break my hip. It was my leg.
Or whatever.
But yeah. Like God did His thing.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's the thing. And COVID will be over eventually. I think it's going to be with us. But the goal is to get it to minimize. If it can be consistently minimized, like the deaths and the hardship of it, where it's like the regular flu for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think it'll be something where people will feel like, okay, I can kind of get out here and, go back to some sense of quote unquote normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
But something that Dana said, which I believe I'm wholeheartedly with, knowing what's valuable, what's priority in your life, what's important in the grand scheme of things, what can live with, what you can live without. Some things are just like, I'm at that place where it's like, once I'm at that place now where it's like, if this gets on my nerves, like bagging on my nerves, like we talk about people that we love that kind of, little minor quabbles.
Some things
But,
you can deal with, yeah.
Yeah, something, but people and things that irk me, I try my best not to even be around it, because like my peace is too important.
Yeah.
It's the time is already stressful enough. Why am I going to add to it unnecessarily?
Yeah.
Being around people in situations that I don't have to be in, that are going to cost me too much emotionally and mentally to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So this year's really showed us who should be in our lives as it relates to influence.
Yeah.
And who needs to be distant. Somebody can be an associate versus somebody that can be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this year kind of showed us people's true colors. So now we know how to navigate being around them.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's disappointing, but it's good. So once you see it, then you know how to respond.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Did
good.
Bishop, was his sermon on toxic people, was that at the beginning of this year? Or was that last year?
Last year.
Okay. Because I feel like that definitely gave a good framework on how to let go of those toxic people in our lives. So I think sometimes there's a guilt that comes with, distancing yourself from people. But it's important that we have to make ourselves a priority too when those relationships aren't healthy for us.
Yep. Yeah. Like certain things, like it's just, I don't even put myself in anymore, because it's just, it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
You pick and choose your battles. Like the older you get, the more you start to value peace.
Mm-hmm.
When you're younger, you like some of that drama. You can deal with it. You're older, you don't feel like dealing with all that mess.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Especially not now. Especially not now.
No.
But so Tiffany, anxiety is not the highest form of pride. Anxiety is usually, now I'm no therapist here, but talking from, just from some things, that anxiety is usually the highest point of fear and stress. So it's not necessarily pride per se, because a variety of things could make us anxious or battle with anxiety and depression. But fear, worry, and stress are great producers for anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Like fear is, how did Bishop Sharona put it this way? Fear is, I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember exactly how he said it. Fear is the lion is in the room with you and you know it can attack you. That's fear.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety is the door is closed. You think there's a lion out there.
Mm.
You assume there's a lion out there. And you think that the thing that you assume can actually come get you.
Yeah.
So a lot of fear is projection. A lot of anxiety is the projection of assumption and anticipated consequences. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
fear. If you were in a room with a lion, I would be scared too. I think most people would be. You locked in a room with a lion, yeah, right.
I
Um,
would be in there.
but anxiety is that assumption that of the possibilities of what can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you're afraid of what's possible, even though it's not necessarily reality.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. There are a lot of people, their anxiety is real high during COVID. I'm telling you, like,
It's like an undercurrent. Like
yeah,
even for me, sometimes it pops up. I'm like, okay, you need to chill out just a little bit.
Yeah. And we may not call it that, but I think some of this, forget it, I'm gonna go out there and just live my life. And if I catch it, I catch it. That can come from anxiety. Because you're tired of dealing with the stress of the fear. So you just say, I'm just gonna do whatever. That can come from that. Anxiety can either make you reckless or highly afraid we don't want to do anything. Good.
Is there though a connection between pride and anxiety, making in terms of like comparison, and we're seeing other people do the things we want to do, and we're not feeling like we're leveling up, and anxiety rises from that?
I think there can be from that. Yes, there can be anxiety that comes from your life seems to be going good and mine doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety can have you comparing struggles when I don't even know your business. You know what I'm saying? I'm using this as an example.
So, but it's that same thing. You're not seeing the full picture.
Yeah,
of
I'm not
things.
seeing the full picture of it. I'm seeing your full life based off my picture. So it's not fair for for me. But why is your life better and I'm over here? So it can come from that too. But a lot of people are dealing with a lot of mental health stuff during this time, and now we're going back into even before the pandemic when it got cold, depression. People battle with depression differently in the cold. It's darker out. And I think we're going to get back to, I'm going to say we're going to start seeing more of that as soon as you cough. Now that this new variant's out, you're like, oh my God, I done got it. As soon as you sneeze, you're like, oh Jesus, like you feel one thing, you're like, oh my God, it's here. And you remember how it was in the beginning?
Yeah, I remember. It's true.
Now that masking is off, more people are getting colds. They're getting respiratory viruses. And I think justly so. If you're not feeling well, you should go get checked. Before you go around a bunch of people. But
that's the other thing. Because, okay, so I have a friend who lives in the city, and she was exposed to someone. So she had to go get tested and whatnot. But in that process of finding out to go get tested, she's using like public transportation and everything else. I'm like, that's exposing people too.
Yeah.
So that really made me think about, where am I going? Because you just really never know.
That's the thing. You got parents sending their kids back to school with COVID. You got folk who were around people that had COVID, go to somebody's house and pass it to the people the house they went to. To me, that's just no regard for the lives of other people. So if we can barely trust parents to to do the right by, even before COVID, how many parents would send their sick kids to daycare and school and all that stuff? But so that's what I'm like, why are we open like now? Because we expect people to tell the truth all the time.
Not gonna happen.
So
that irritates me when parents send their kids to school knowing.
Yeah, and it's like Yeah, it's like somebody, Ava said, they got lice and send the kids to school with lice. And,
Mm-hmm.
I think and now that we're in a pandemic, this is not like the regular cold. This is like something that this child can take home and it negatively impact another parent and all that stuff. It's, I'm talking about the nature of the parent. And some parents are just, I know there were some parents, well, oh, well, my child got COVID. They'll get over it. That's their thought.
Right.
The kids will get over it. It's just like the cold. They'll catch a cold and they'll be fine. That's literally the thought process of why some of them do it. But I think that's selfish. If you know you've been
Mm-hmm.
around somebody, stay your behind in the house until you get a result back. Oh, that hurts. Anyway, so what else did y'all learn this year? But God has been good this year. He's really blessed some stuff that we thought, you said you thought he would, you thought he would do it in a different time, but he's doing it now in one of the
Mm-hmm.
worst times,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just,
Yep.
he's moving during this time frame. And it's wonderful to know.
And I think that might be one of the biggest lessons of all, because I think we put ourselves in a box of thinking of how God's going to move,
Mhm.
that we're missing all the other areas out here that he is moving.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't see it until it all comes together.
Mm-hmm. And God acknowledges the bad that happens in our lives and the good. And we acknowledge all that this season is hard, but God is also moving at the same time. It's just
Mm-hmm.
the two could be held in tension. And you know the thing that gets on my nerves? I hate when people say, well, I don't know anybody who got it, or I never got it, so it must not be that big of a deal for other people. I saw somebody say that, well, I haven't
That
known
didn't make no
anybody.
sense.
I know. I don't know anybody that got COVID in the past couple of weeks, and all this stuff is fear mongering and stuff. I'm like, why? You don't know nobody that got COVID in the past couple of weeks. I know a few people that have it, families who have it, folk coming out of the hospital with it. Just because something isn't directly happening to you doesn't mean it's not happening to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's self-righteous to
It is.
disregard what's going on in somebody else's life because it's not happening right where you are until it comes and finally hits you.
Mm-hmm.
It's foolish.
I know someone who's like that. Oh, it's just a cold.
Yeah.
It's just a cold. And then they got it. It was the worst.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it bugs me. And I know people out there, they want to catch the viruses and get the antibodies from it. I'll be fine. But first off,
So
you don't know how it's going to affect you.
You're saying people are getting it on purpose?
Yeah. Yeah. They hope they catch it so they can get the antibodies for it. But here's the problem. You don't know how your body's going to react to it, number one. Number two, the antibodies don't stay in your body for the rest of your life. They start to fade over time. That's why people are catching COVID twice.
Well, why not just get the vaccine? It's like, isn't that the whole purpose of the vaccine?
Well, the vaccine doesn't stop you from getting COVID, but it just helps minimize the effects if you do have COVID. Like, for instance, Cory Booker and what's her name? Senator Warren. I can't remember her first name right now.
Elizabeth
Warren, there you go. Thank you. Double vax, booster shot. They just got COVID. Mild effects.
No.
This Omicron is breaking through, the vaccine, but the from most of the people, very mild response. Mm-hmm. I think one of the things this year I'm learning, I'm getting back to it. Chris, I kind of messed up on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving weekend, I went way off the rails. Thanksgiving weekend, your odds are better the cleaner you eat and the more healthier you are. So, like anything, I know you may not like this. Like anything, diseases attack sugar.
Mm-hmm.
They feed on sugar. So the more sugar you eat, the more the disease can feed on it. So your odds are better. I'm not saying that you're immune, but your odds are better when you eat clean, work out, try your best to be super healthy. Your body has a better chance fighting it.
Mm-hmm.
with the vaccine than without it. So that's that right there. Yeah. You know, it's interesting. People always say, you know, I believe we're divided as a nation, Tiff. But to me, America's always been divided. It's I don't know what this
Yeah.
we have this people America paints this false picture of there was a time we were united. When were we ever united?
Never. I think it's starting to become a little bit more prevalent now in your face. I remember growing up, I had a friend who said, you know, there was no more racism or all, you know, just because he and I are friends, he's white. Like, it's doesn't exist anymore. I'm like,
That's a racist statement.
that's your reality. It's a racist statement. But okay. But I think like it's getting to a point now where you can't ignore it.
Yeah.
Just too much is happening.
Yeah. I remember when Obama got elected, it was, well, America's no longer racist. We just voted
Yeah.
for the next black president. I always said, let's see how long it will take before the second black president comes. Then I'll know America's not as racist. That's what I'll know. Because, you know, it's institutionally at large, America may not be as racist as it was, but there are institutions that still have racism in it. So, you know, people are like, well, just some racist people. Obviously, there's a big system out there too that is working because guess what? Those racist people go to work
and they run things.
And they run those systems. You think they lose their racism when they start doing a thing? No.
Civil rights era wasn't that long ago.
I know. And America, I don't care what they say. America has never been a Christian country. We need to stop lying. It's never been built on God and the God of Scripture, the Christ of Scripture, because they would have did some of the stuff they did if it was built on that. A lot of the founders were deists. They believed in a God, but they did not. I mean, I can't say all of them. I'm just saying they were deists. Some of them were deists. Some may have been Christian, but we've never been a Christian nation. Never. They want to keep lying. Just because they say under God doesn't mean, and they had churches doesn't mean everybody was a Christian. Yo, it's almost 12:30. I gotta go.
This time went by fast.
Yeah. Thank y'all for coming on. I'm sorry we get off late earlier, but I got kids in homeschool. I need to go grab them. And don't forget we have Bible study Wednesday. You guys enjoy your Christmas. Be safe.
And Christmas Spectacular.
Christmas. What time does it start?
On Christmas Eve at 7.
Christmas Eve at 7. Watch us online. Christmas Spectacular. While you wrapping.
You have to do it with the spirit fingers, Pastor Nick.
Making cookies. That's
spirit fingers.
Why is it called spirit fingers?
I don't know. It's just what it's called. Spectacular.
Oh, why is it called spirit fingers though? I've seen people do it.
I don't know. I think that's like a drama thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Spectacular Christmas Eve at 7. You guys enjoy. Have a safe Christmas. I'm not going around a bunch of people. I'm staying home. Praise God. We'll be back on Sunday with Engage Live Time and 10 times better. Y'all have a good Christmas, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.